Hey, what's up, guys? So this is going to be the talent and rune guide for Warlock Tanking. I will go over the runes last, obviously, so we'll talk about each rune and why they matter or don't matter and all the slots here in a little bit. But first I want to go over the talents. So there's some contention with the talents, but generally what people all agree on is Demonic Embrace is very important because this gives you 15% stamina. I shouldn't have to explain why that's good, but it's just more health, so you want it. The next 5 points nobody really argues with is Improved Corruption. This makes your Corruption instant cast. Corruption is very good damage at this level, and it's also decent threat as well. So you just want this up full time as much as you can. 1% in suppression is all you need for the raid because you only need 5% hit to be hit capped. And if you're wearing the boots, that gives you 1%, and you have the oil, which gives you 2%, and this gives you another 2%, that'll be 5%. I don't see a reason why you need to put any more points into this until we get to the further phases and find out more. Now, your last 5 points are where people start to flirt around. I like Improved Drain Life a lot, all 5 points in them. That's where the rest of my points go. I really like the health gains back on the Drain Life, and also I have Drain Life up most of the time. And plus the damage on it, which does pretty good damage. It helps with your threat too, so it's nice. There's the people who like this, and there's the people who don't really like it because they feel like they don't need the healing, and instead they usually go Improved Life Tap, which I don't really need because I feel like we get a lot of mana back already with our life tapping due to the 100% life tap games for Metamorphosis, right? So I feel like I personally don't use this. I don't need it. I feel like my mana is fine. But if you want it, that's completely up to you. You can put 2 into here and slap 3 into there if you want. Or what some people are doing is they put 2 into Improved Life Tap, and then they put 3 into Imp, and they run their Imp the entire time. The stamina gain you get from your Imp's Blood Pack stacks with Fort. So this is a little bit more stamina you can get. I think it was 7. I'm not sure. I can check on that. And also, you get a Fire Shield, which is nice, but it does not stack with Thorns if you have a Druid, and he does pretty good damage. I personally don't do that because I do not run my Imp. I use the Succubus the entire time, and I like to run this 5 points into here. This is what I think is the best one for that, but like I said, if you're in the camp of you don't need the health and you feel like you would rather have the Improved Drain Life and either your Imp, or maybe you like to have that extra oh shit button with your Voidwalker shield, that's completely up to you. But like I said, I'm suggesting that everyone does this until you feel more comfortable with the raid. As for the runes, obviously Master Channeler is a very good, this is key. I think you absolutely need this for tank right now. It's really, really nice. This just makes your Drain Life a permanent dot, well not permanent, but a 15-second dot. It costs 100% mana and heals you for 50% each time it deals damage. This is just a really nice rune. I love this rune. Another good option for the rune is Lake of Fire, but the problem with Lake of Fire is this is an extremely good rune and it does a lot of damage, buffing your fire damage by 40%, which is very, very good, right? The problem is it's very mana intensive. I'm talking like 20% of your 20 to 25% of your mana. It's unrealistic to try to keep this down full time for your threat. So I personally just run Master Channeler. For your gloves, we need Metamorphosis. We can't say nothing about that. You need a tank. Now your legs, this is a little more spicy. This is what I think. You had the camp of Incinerate, right? You open with Incinerate and you get an insane opener and some good threat, right? Then you have the people who like Demonic Grace. I don't hate Demonic Grace. The problem is it's the last 6 seconds and it costs a global. A global cooldown is a 1.5 seconds, meaning you have 4.5 seconds left of this Demonic Grace buff. While yes, I know that it's 6 seconds of you increasing your dodge chance, but I don't care about that. I feel pretty tanky as it is. I am not a big fan of this talent for tanking. I do like this more when I'm doing like AoE tanking or maybe even like trash in dungeons and stuff like that. But that's more just because I like the chance to crit more on my Searing Pains on the opener. But this, I really honestly don't use this. I like Incinerate. And yes, I will even cast Incinerate mid-fight if I want to keep the buff up. If you see your threat, you should be able to watch your threat on Tiny Threat or some kind of threat weak or add-on. And if you see you're fine on threat, then you don't need to cast it. But I personally like this. As for Everlasting Affliction, I actually like this rune. This isn't that bad. I wouldn't use it on a single target, but what I like about this is that I can... Say it's an AoE pack in the raid or dungeon and you have 3 or 4 mobs, you can put corruptions on them after your opener, right? You put corruptions on them and then corruptions deal very good damage and very good threat. So you put corruptions on them and your Shadow Cleave refreshes this, which I like a lot. I personally think it's decent for AoE threat, but at the same time, in our scenario where it's like me tanking and then we have a shaman tanking with us, the shaman just handles the ads and I'm the single target guy. So, I mean, it's not necessary, but I can see some uses for this if you really want. All right, guys, that's it. I just wanted a real quick one for you guys to tell you the runes and the talents that I'm personally choosing. Like I said, I run something like this. You don't have to. This is just what I prefer in terms of being safe, which is at the end of the day, you're just playing safe. That's all I care about. Yeah, so I'll see you guys on the next one.